Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Business Talk South Africa. I am your host, C. Lavini, and I am very excited because today we have my friend, Mr. Moclaren, a business consultant, a financial advisor, Mr. South Africa. But you know what? I'll let him introduce himself. Yeah, welcome to Choose Thursdays at Mika's Bed.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Sanele, your co-host. Yeah, I'm also excited. There's pressure on this couch. There's always pressure on this couch. I think later you need to come back to just say, it's too much. But anyways, I'm also excited to interview our special guest here today. So I'll allow Mr. Mataran to introduce himself and what he does.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Moclaren Morema. So Moclaren Morema is a dynamic and a professional in the business consulting. I have like 9 years experience in the banking industry. So I don't only do the business consulting only. Do financial planning. I do financial coaching. I do a lot of things actually. So as an entrepreneur, and as I already mentioned, I'm a CEO or rather the
Yes.
founder of the of the Barona Consulting Services. So Barona Consulting Services is a consulting company that actually helps uh, businesses to be compliant. So we mainly focus on making a point that you are ready to actually uh, fight for everything out there. Make a point that you're you're ready to apply for those tenders. You are compliant fully to get the finances through the bank. Yes, so that is who we are. I'm not only doing the business consulting, I'm a writer as well. So I share the insights when it comes to financial planning, and also I share the experiences that I experience in life, and also around with the people around me. And as I did mention, I'm a financial coach, which I do the emotional management with people around money. So yes.
Don't get into everything. Let us ask.
He's finishing the show already.
You have to tell us the whole thing.
Remember, I had to like give it some
Some-
research. You guys
No,
will
no,
go-
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that's exactly what we're going to get into. Our first question today is just tell us about Moclaren before being an entrepreneur. Like, what is your educational background? Where do you come from? And what motivated you to be an entrepreneur?
Okay. So I actually come from Limpopo in Zanin, in a village called Sikororo. So I have a diploma in financial management. Not only that, I have a BCom in business administration, and also I have a bachelor in financial management. I'm currently doing my BA honors with Mancosa. So what motivated me to be an entrepreneur, I would say I'm one person that want to do things myself, and I believe in helping others to be at their best level. So yeah, I'll say that's one thing that motivated me to be an entrepreneur. So I've worked. I don't want to be mentioning names of the companies that I worked for. I started work at the age of 21. Yeah, actually from varsity
Hey,
straight to
directly
to 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 start as a store associate, where I worked as a okay, I did different things in the role, where I worked as a cashier, I worked as a merchandiser. From there, then I got an opportunity at a banking institution, which I started working as a internal sales and service. So yeah, when it comes to sales, I'm the person you can run to. So sales, which I got a lot of accolades, being the best in the whole South Africa for cross selling, for being for making a point that I give the best customer experience. Also featured in magazine of the bank for being the top in the whole South Africa, and also in myself. So I think one thing that made me to want to become an entrepreneur is actually making a point that the pain that people are experiencing is being dealt with. Because the moment you see the pain and then you're doing nothing about it, then you have yourself to blame at the end of the day.
You know that the two things that you mentioned that stick out to me as an entrepreneur. You mentioned sales and customer experience. And I think about myself and I'm like, I'm so passionate about what I do that I'm focused on getting that right. That at times my mind is not consumed by sales and customer experience. But that's probably very very important part. It's a very very important part of my business. So my question is, in terms of you coming from a background like that, how has it helped you transitioning from being employed into business and having gained that experience when you were employed? How has it helped you, and how can it help me, when I consult with you in that area? How can you help me with that?
Okay, so answering that, I'll say sales and service go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, for one to get that sale from a client or rather a customer, you need to give them the excellent service so that you can be able to close the sale with them. Because remember, looking into what the customer will need to buy from you, they will buy the service that you are giving to them before they can even work with you and say, okay, this person will actually be able to give me the excellent service forever. So meaning that buying from them will be something that is easier. So I would say that on its own helped me to realize that, you know what, I'm good at giving the best service, which I've been acknowledged for. And I know with regarding to cross-selling to the clients, it's something that will be simpler because I'm always giving excellent service towards them. So giving excellent service is the best thing that one could do because sales is all about everything. Like me and you now, we might be talking like this. Can't we are exchanging service that will actually turn me into buying from you.
Sure.
So yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Pass. Yes.
Yeah, right. So you've been handling money for a while, from what you said about working with first in merchandise and then there with the money. So tell us about financial management. What are some of the things that you have seen as an entrepreneur and in your working that most people fail to do in terms of financial management?
So, one thing that I've experienced, or rather that I got to realize when I was in the banking industry, is that yes, people will come, of course, request for funds, but then they are not managing their funds, whatever the little that they have, for them to be able to acquire more. So one thing that I've realized as an entrepreneur is that you need to manage yourself, make a point that you budget whatever that you have, the little that you have, for you to be able to get more. Because you cannot be entrusted with a million if you are never able to manage the 10,000. So
Yeah.
you need to start somewhere. A person that is now a millionaire, they started to with a 1 rand. From 1 rand, they moved to 10 rand, 10 rand to 100,000, so and so. So one thing that I can say with regarding to that lady is that one need to have a budget in place, do a planning, do a financial planning so that you can actually do well in that space of managing money. Because at times we use our emotions to and tell ourselves that, you know what, I have this money. I know there is a take a lot, there is a super valise. I can just do shopping, but you are forgetting that the business, you're forgetting the business that brought you that kind of money. At the end of the day, you spend it at the wrong place instead of you looking into the plan that you put in. Say you have a budget, you have a risk plan, you have a financial planning analysis. So that on its own will actually help you to see where you need to allocate the money to. You cannot just wake up today and go like, oh, I have 1 million rand in my account, but you cannot be able to allocate it according to the field or rather the sectors in your business.
Okay, so I wanna ask, what is the vision behind Barona? Where do you see yourself going? Because to be planned and be precise, you need to be working towards something essentially. So, what is your growth potential? What is your growth vision? What keeps you an entrepreneur? Because we know that hey, it's not every day where the money is coming in. So, what's your vision?
Okay, so my vision, I would say, is to compete with the biggest accounting firms in the world, not only in South Africa or not in Gauteng. So I believe in my team, or rather in our company, to be the best at everything that we do. Because at first we don't just give an advice to someone because we have to do it. We analyze your profile as a client and say, okay, we see here and there, and then you are able to give us the answers that we need so that we can be able to do a thorough analysis and give you the right report so that you can be able to take the right decisions in that space. So
Yeah, I want to talk about emotions. Even our keynote today. So Lele does our financials in our company. We shop local. And whenever she's about to do them, there's a space I get into, and I'm like, yo, what's a weird game, and it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
So how do I handle that? Because I also want to speak for someone who's coming from a freelancing type of environment, moving into running an organization, and that transition can be very difficult because you and the business were one account, right? But now there has to be that separation to say, okay, now I have a business that pays me, right? And sometimes what the business pays me, I'm used to having all the money and doing what I want and I want to do with it, But now I'm moving into that place of paying, and maybe in Patara 1,000 rand yana for now, and it's kind of difficult. So how do I handle my emotions and my budgeting in that transition? Because it's very, very difficult.
okay. So in that instance, first of all, you need to do a business formation. So you need to like have your business
We get a
registered.
free consultation.
Yeah. So you actually need to have like a business registered on the side. Make a point that whatever things that you're doing that has business related, you pay whatever funds in that business account. Because after registering, of course, you need to do account opening through the banks and separate your personal income and the business income.
Yeah.
Because the moment you mix them together, you won't be able to like categorize them accordingly. So it is best for one to have like separate account where you know that okay, with our business, this much that we're making, as a founder, or rather the owner of the business, you'll then have whatever drones that you're having, which you must be accountable for. You cannot just go into the business account and take 100,000 and then all of a sudden
I feel like
you
you're
are
just
not
getting me into more trouble.
paying, you're not paying money.
Sure.
You're not paying. So you need to be accountable for everything that you take from the business. There must be an accountability.
Yeah.
Because if there is no accountability, then at the end of the day, you're not gonna win in the business world.
Yeah. But then what kind of advice do you give somebody? Because I feel like as Black people and as people who are just starting, we working from side hustles. So all of the money that you get is essentially for all of your needs, right? But now when you become an entrepreneur and you become a business person, you're looking to set yourself apart. Like you said, your vision is to be the best, bigger than all of the accounting agencies in the world. But that takes a lot of discipline. So how do you tell somebody that is from hand to mouth to say sacrifice that time? How do you change that mindset of saying I need this? Because a lot of times it's no, I need this at home. There's a situation, abu malume, like kids, all of those things. How do you tell that person to think about establishing a legacy instead of just staying in that small position?
Okay, so in South Africa we have a thing called black tax.
Yeah.
So
It's
I think as an entrepreneur, you need to have limits. Set a limit where you say no. Because the moment you say yes to everything and anything, unfortunately you'll be the one at risk. Because as a business person, you need to have risk plans
Mm.
so that should something happen, you'll know that you're able to go back to such funds and be able to fund whatever that you're funding. So the advice that I'll give there is that learn to say no. That's very important because you can't have all of a sudden you have money, then you're having like people that are coming closer to you and then they are requesting for money without any valid reasons. They're like, okay, I want to do that, but you personally you do not understand what is it that they want to do. So I believe in, okay, let me say for instance, a person is requesting for funds. I will tell them to actually come with a business plan to me so that I can be able to see that, okay, this is the plan that they have in mind, and this is the money that they want, and what would their plan do at the end of the day. I cannot just go on and give a person money and say, you know what, I'm gonna give you 20,000, go and do it. No, I need a plan. I need you to give me a plan. We sign it, both of us. If you are failing to bring back my money, then yeah, there will be things that we'll be dealing with.
I
And
don't
then,
see
yeah. So I believe in like taking things
order.
orderly. I don't like just being all over the show. Yeah, I don't like that.
McLaren just said he has 20,000 rand. If you have a business plan,
Yes, yes, please drop it. But these are very, very important topics. I'll speak for myself. That transition is not easy.
Yeah.
And this is where people like yourself and your organization become very, very important to help us with these things. But I want to talk about other services that you offer. And you can just highlight what exactly you do with that. So business formation and compliance, what is that?
Okay, so that's where we actually talk about the company secretarial services, where we're looking at your company registration, like forming it from start, doing registration, making upon that you're compliant, and that would be that part. And other services that we offer, we do financial and accounting services, where we actually cover the most of it, and we do also the tax services where we assist with your tax returns, any issues that you have with SARS, we are there standing out for you and then try to back you up because there are mistakes that we as people make, but then you need somebody that is more experienced, that has the knowledge in that space to fight for you, or rather put in better weights for you at the end of the day. And then we do the payroll services. So where you have a company, you have employees that you want to pay on a monthly basis. So we're actually able to help with that. Make a point that they are registered with UIF, they are registered with SARS, and then we do the rest of the stuff.
McLaren services are not for side hustles.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you must.
No, but
Be
remember, doing the payroll services is not only for a person that has more than 10 employees. You can do it even for yourself. So that as a person, I have a side hustle, cool, but I pay myself a certain amount of money. You can do the registration and make a point that you are compliant because looking into the UIF, if you pay for that it helps you as well. So should you in the future need people that you want them to work for you, you can go to Department of Labor and UIF, and they can fund your business, like they pay uh people that you get to work for you on a monthly basis if you're a contributor. But then if you don't contribute, then unfortunately they're gonna go like, oh, okay, but you want half from us, but you
You
never
never contributed.
contributed.
So you can't really scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With most entrepreneurs, we don't know that we need these things.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing to put it out there? And I'll be so busy doing what I'm doing, and then I start making money. Ziyasha kumnandi, making the money,
Then you're not
and I'm not
compliant.
cognizant of things like tax and everything else that you mentioned. what are you guys doing to put it out there to say, hey guys, also consider these things?
Okay, so that I've actually noticed it when I was still working for the bank. Got that a lot of customers don't have the idea of what they need to do. So a person will be excited. I'm like, oh, I've registered for a company, and yet the CIPC gives you like the document with the whole terms and conditions, which a lot of us don't read them.
Yeah.
Those things they explain to you what you need to do. You need to make a point that you file your returns on a yearly basis with CIPC. Same applies to SARS.
But I'm not understanding. How do you give me 5 pages of fine print?
That is
I'm trying to be at work and do my thing.
Yes, we understand you're trying to be at work and do your thing. Hence, we as Barona Consulting, we are there so that we can be able to like take away the pains that you might be going through and make a point that you focus on the craft in the front. Then we do the back office. We make a point that we give you the administrative support, and yeah. So I would say in that space, one needs to don't, if for as much as you register a company, don't just register that company and look at the documents. I'm like, okay, I have the documents and that's it. Go through the welcome pack that CIPC gives you.
Okay.
That on its own, it explains a lot as to what you need to do. The fact that you register a company and then your company does not operate doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing your CIPC returns. They need to be done on a yearly basis. The moment you don't do it, your company will go into a deregistration. The moment you're supposed to now get your people paying, your invoices paying out, then the company has been deregistered. Then you have to like go through another process where it could take around 8 weeks for that to be reinstated. And remember, with the bank, they are actually connected, so the bank cannot be able to just reactivate the account without that document that shows that your company is in business. So
This is sorry Lily, but this is so important because there's 3 of us in our business, and the third person is an accountant by profession. And as you're speaking, I'm thinking that if he was not one of our partners, we probably would never have business right now, because all of these are things I don't naturally think about.
Yeah.
And another person may say, no, you're negligent, you're this, but there are things that I excel at.
Yeah.
Right, which it helped, by the grace of God, that I had this person who now understands that part of things. But now I'm just thinking about other business people who don't have that or didn't have the grace that I had, for someone to look at those things and say, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. So I'm just reiterating this point to say this is very, very important.
Yeah.
And companies like Barona are very, very important. At least do a consultation, speak to them, find out, have Moclaren just dissect your business and see what you might need or might not need.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you're lazy to read the welcome pack, please contact Moclaren because he knows all the information. Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, right? So I have found, it's not a long time that I'm here, guys. I am young, but I have found that there are moments where you need to lean back on, and it can't be friends, it can't be family. You need to lean back on something like a source. So I just want to speak to you as because you've been a business person and an employed person, like since you were 21 years old. So that's over. Nah, I don't want to say but some years from now. So what keeps you resilient? What keeps you focused on learning and also motivates you to give assistance to other businesses? Because on your own it's difficult, and now you are dealing with the intricate parts of other people's businesses and systems.
Yeah.
So what motivates you and what keeps you passionate? Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, that I think that I have this thing with customer service. So I believe in customer service so much so that I cannot just let a person just be left out there without being helped.
But what's your customer service?
My customer service.
Like
What's your
source.
separation,
Yeah.
please? What's your source, like, to say I get empowered?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say one thing that inspires me is to see, okay, I don't know how to put this, but is to actually take the the experiences that I'm getting a day to day and put them into an advantage to myself. So is I will put it in a simple term that knowledge. So feeding myself with new ideas, new things on a day to day, like going on Google. If I don't understand something, I go on Google, make a point that I get whatever information that I need, so that I can be able to fulfill something that I did not know about. And then on that note, I won't just sit and say, okay, I got what I got, then that's it. I make a point that whatever information that I got, I put it either on my notepads, make a point that in the future I can be able to go back there and refer to that. Should someone require something of that nature, I know that okay, I've dealt with something of this nature. I will go back to that and then run with it. And another thing is to keep myself going, because I know in the business industry is not easy, and it will never be easy if you are not paying attention to the little things. Like if you're just to give an example, if for instance you have a company that is registered, you're operating and everything, but you do not care about okay the returns with SARS, the returns with CIPC. Those are the things that will actually uh those are the things that will actually break you. But then if you make a point that you go back and fix your mistakes and be in alignment, yeah. So
Yeah, you know, one of the conversations we've had with Lele was um, we've noticed that most people who become successful and good at what they do are the people that have learned to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what you're iterating, that you know you learn, you are consistently learning. Not everyone has learned to learn. Some people are resistant to that, to say I need to acquire more, I need to grow, I need to learn more.
Yeah.
You know, and they actually focus on what they know. It probably eats them up after that, right? But yeah, so I wanna speak about wealth management before we open the floor for questions. But yeah, so talk to us about that. What is that service? What kind of service is that you offer?
so that is actually falling under our the financial coaching, where we coach you on, like I mentioned, emotional.
Yeah.
Because the moment you have that money and then you are able to manage it accordingly and invest it in whatever ways that, like your shares, things like that, it helps you to grow your wealth. But the moment you have the money and then it's sitting there like, "Ah, I have so much money in my bank account," but then
It's nice.
it
I
is
look
nice.
at my app and it's showing that number.
It is nice, but remember it's in the bank. Yes, the bank takes the fees. When they take the fees, let me say for instance you had 1 million, then the bank takes they are 99 rand. You are no longer a millionaire.
Yeah.
that's that's the reality that you need to do. So you are no longer a millionaire. But should you take at least maybe 500,000, take that, put it in an investment, or maybe buy your shares, buy unit trusts. That is adding up to you being a millionaire.
Yeah.
In a 6 month or so, or maybe in a 2 years or so, you might be lucky, or yeah, get
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
so
out being 2 years, guys.
yeah, yeah. So you see, it's very easy for one to who manage their finances to grow financially.
Mm.
Yeah, managing your finances, that's the best thing that you can do, so that you can grow when it comes to your finances. Because if you have the money, you just put it there, lying there, you're not investing it somewhere. Unfortunately, it won't bring anything. You'll keep on. And I'm telling you, when you see that balance and then you see all these adverts, the companies, they advertise it. you'll see your Uber Eats, they'll get pop a notification on your phone, then you just want to see yourself not cooking, but you have food in your fridge. You just want to go and do Uber Eats, whatever you call them, and you see something very nice that was advertised by some clothing store. So you're like, yeah, let's go. You go into Superbalist, then your cat goes around 20,000 and like, but anyway, I have 1 million. So you spend it. You're forgetting that you're reducing what you have instead of you investing it in something that can actually bring more so that it'll be easier for you in the future to spend that 20,000 rand without even worrying about it.
All right. Sure.
Okay, so I am hearing you that you are very strategic, you're very planned, you're very precise, right? Especially with your finances. But now I want to dig into your failures as an entrepreneur. What have you failed at? This is a safe space.
You won't tell anyone. You won't even put this part in.
Okay. Okay, so in that space I will say I think when I started working, I didn't have like somebody that can be able to advise me. Like I think that's another reason why it made me to actually be in an industry like this. So no one advised me on how to like manage my finances for as much as I did study financial management at school. I was like, you know what? I got this.
I know.
Yeah, I know this. Anyway, this budget thing does not work. But I then realized that you know what? No. I remember I in okay, so I started working, yeah, that year that I started. Then there was a moment where the company that I was working for did they actually retrenched us. But during the retrenchment, but luckily I was that person that okay, when it comes to finances, I will deal with it accordingly. I'll make a point that there is money that I'll leave 3 months to 6 months. So one thing that I learned is that keeping that money away helped me to manage myself for that period of 3 months whilst I'm looking for a job. Because the company that I was working for, or rather the bank that I was working for under an agency, believed in myself. They had to then recall me because I was doing great at what I was doing. Being the best in the whole South Africa is not child's play.
Yeah.
So they had to recall me back, recall me back after 3 months. But in that moment, I didn't want to either stress my parents or anyone around me. I just made a point that I keep going with whatever monies that I had, and I had debts to show. So I made a point that with that little money that I got there, I settled everything so that I can start from the bottom actually. So when I get the re-employed rather, I will then start on a clean slate, yeah, on a clean slate and fix my mistakes because when you just got employed 2 years down the line, you're like, credit card, yes, can get it. Why not? My credit is so good. Then you open like you guys, you open you open accounts and everything, and they like. Remember back then I was a sales person, so that thing that they told us that you know what you need to have a credit for you to be able to qualify for that, but now I can see that that thing is not working. It's not working because one thing that one need to do is to just manage their finances. You can open that account. Yeah, one thing that I've learned also is that I had a credit card, which is a great thing. I then put in I put in extra cash in there.
Yeah.
So that I use my money was the bank give me like their benefits
score
of
and all
using the account, and then my credit score also being there. If let me say, for instance, you were to take a credit card to the value of maybe 10,000 rand, you just top it up with your extra 10,000 rand. When you use the credit card, you use your own money. Because remember also with the credit cards, just to give an example, if with the credit card, if let me say you are over the limit, the bank does not actually reimburse you the monthly fee. So that is something that I learned that, you know what, yes, I had all this limit, a big one. I think I had over 20,000 rand.
Your body.
I'll spend the money, yeah, but I've learned from my mistakes, but here we are. Yeah, so
Okay, so I just last question, sorry guys. What is a credit score for other people that might not know, might not necessarily be informed? Like, please actually break it down. What's a credit score? Because me, I know after school, and then they told me, hey, get credits, and I was like, I don't want that. I don't want debt. My mentality is that credit is debt. But what is actually a credit score, and what is a positive credit score?
so a positive. Let me just cover that.
Yeah.
So a credit score is something that, should I say something? It's a score that the banks use to qualify you for something. Like for instance, you wanna apply for a home loan. They will check your credit score via Experian. That's, you can search it online if you want to know about it. So Experian is like the company that is, if let me say you have either an identity number. So the moment you take a credit, then, or even though you don't have a credit, your ID number will then be on that platform where you're able to like see your score on there. So in a simple term, it's like what they're using to identify what you could qualify for. So should you be be over indebted, that will actually give the bank that feedback that, okay, this one we cannot give them any credit because they are high risk when it comes to us as a bank. So it might happen that they won't be able to pay that money because this person is living out of, so their salary doesn't even last more than 5 days. So just imagine you get paid 20,000 rand or whatever amount. Within 5 days, that money is out. So the bank look at that. They look into your transactions on a month to month, and yeah.
Hey, yes.
That's it.
So, as McLaren did say that he has learned information and saw the need in people to empower them, we're now going to open up the space for empowerment. Guys, ask your questions now. And when he goes, you must pay him. So here you ask for free. So ask your
Free
questions.
consultation
Yeah.
time. If you missed it now, I'm sorry. So hands up, please, if you've got questions in the audience. They don't want
They're
free
scared.
consultation.
When it's about money.
No, it doesn't look like we have any. That's
Okay, then.
How do you stay motivated? Isn't it? Yeah. How do you stay motivated? Like, what motivates you to keep moving forward on this? What is the one thing that makes you? Because a lot of people say, "Oh no, it's my family," but like, it eventually runs down. But what's the one thing that keeps you motivated to a point where if everything doesn't motivate you, you have that one thing that's like, yeah.
Okay, so I would say the main thing, we have bills to pay. So that's one thing that motivates me. Like if I don't wake up, I don't go to work. So meaning that those bills won't pay themselves. So I gotta keep going so that I can be able to pay those bills. And also, what motivates me is the planner that I have myself, because if as a business I need to plan for myself and also plan for the business. So the moment I look at the drawing board, I'm like, hey, you know what, McLaren, you haven't marked that one. What is it that you're doing so that you can be able to reach the goal that you set for yourself? So I would say my drawing board is the one that is motivating me on a daily basis. That is very important. That's another advice that I can give to the upcoming entrepreneurs. Write your plans down, because if you don't write them down, you'll be like a headless chicken. You'll be all over the place, and that won't be good for yourself and for your business as well.
Any other question?
Over there.
Oh yes.
Oh, there's two. Why is it that when you don't have any accounts, you were told that you have a bad credit score? You don't, yeah, you don't have any credit accounts in any of the retail stores. You told you have a bad credit score. Is that the case?
Again,
So you assume that you have a good credit score. You not owe any.
okay, so with regarding to that, there is no any institution that can risk to give funds to somebody that never had anything. So they actually see you as a high risk, not to say you have a bad credit. They see you as a high risk because you never had anything that shows the history of how you would pay them.
They can't trust you. System, I think, because if one doesn't have a credit history, that means that that person is quite good at managing their finances.
Yeah, you're managing your finances, but then we don't have a track record of that. Yeah.
It is a tricky system, though.
It is. Yeah. What was another question?
Yes, over there.
Yeah, that's the advantage of having credit and also like having cash as an entrepreneur. So sometimes you find that you don't have money, you don't have that cash flow fluctuates. But this month you have 10,000, next month you have nil, the other month you have 50K. So my question is, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you fear to take credit. The bank will say, no, come take a credit card. From personal experience, I'm like, what's the advantage of a credit card now? Because sometimes you need money, you're like, you know what? Supplying this, I'm doing like cleaning detergents. So planning to make a big order, and I don't have that cash. I'm like, okay, should I have taken that credit from that bank? Or should I just borrow from somebody else, or not the system, from a friend? I'm like, to be honest, I'm now scared of this because of my experience, my bad experience. I had a bad credit record to close. I didn't honor my credit card, like obligation.
Okay, so in that case, I would advise that as a business person, you need to have a risk planning for your business. Should like instances like that happen, you know that okay, I have such funds to cover something of this nature, because we cannot. Let me just give you an example with a seasoned a business, a business that will just like an ice cream business in winter, of course, they cannot be able to like make more profit as compared to in summer and then. So businesses like that, what they do, they make up on that what they make during summer, they allocate it throughout,
Yeah.
including your June when it's cold and everything, so that they can be able to cover up the costs so that they are able to move along the year. So the advice that I'll give you on that is that for as much as you'll get 50,000 rand, maybe a 3 month, let me say for instance, 2 months ago you got 50,000 rand. Then 6 months ago you got 2010 and stuff. So the moment you get to more money as referred to the previous month that you're getting, learn to work around what you usually get, so that you can be able to win in this space. For as much as now you got extra money, like extra 30,000 rand. That 30,000 rand is something that you need to either allocate it for the next two months, or rather you can just put it on 1 month. It will depend on what is needed for your business at that moment.
So I guess this is where the importance of paying yourself comes in.
Yeah.
so that you know I get paid 1,000 rand. Just because I've got 50,000 doesn't mean now I get
Ah,
paid
yeah.
5,000 rand.
Yes,
Mm.
because just to add on what
Don't give yourself a raise.
Yeah. It's not.
yeah, don't give yourself and another thing that a lot of people they are making a mistake on. A person will see that, okay, this month we made that 50,000, then you increase your salary. The moment you increase your salary, it's recording there to SARS that, oh, okay, he's now moving to a different scale. So meaning that SARS, they will of course charge you more. So it is very important that you have a limit that, okay, you know what, this is what I'm paying myself, this is what we're gonna move with, and then maybe some of the money you can pay yourself as a dividend so that you can get. Hey,
Mm.
guys, I was supposed
Now she won't give me a raise. Oh, yeah, Moshe.
but anyway,
Have another question?
Um, so I guess some people are familiar with building their personal credit profile. What does it look like for businesses? How long does it take to build your profile, or what's the approach? Because on a personal level, we are mostly then informed that have a store account or something.
Yeah.
So, but what does it look like for business? How soon or how quickly, or what does it look like for you to build up, let's say, the lowest amount that you can borrow from the bank?
okay, so with regarding to the company, right? So the company is I would say it's an entity. It cannot stand on its own. So it requires you as a director. So still you need to be perfect when it comes to your credit score, so that the bank can be able to fund you on the business. Yeah, on the
It's so difficult. So that means that I, as an entrepreneur, still would then need to go and get accounts, as the lady was asking. I still have to get accounts and pay for things.
your credit score
Hey.
needs to be at system.
So just to follow up on that, do you mean that the bank does not separate between business account
And
and
all
personal account?
So there is
Your prerequisite still becomes a thing of how you manage your personal credit score and has nothing to do with just focusing on the business side.
there is a difference, but then you as a director still you are being considered, because remember the business cannot operate without you.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, still.
what's the difference? Like if you have to break it down between in business accounts and personal accounts.
So on the business accounts, you get like a higher lending scale. On the personal is then low. So should you maybe in the future you consider taking that? You can take on the business side if you want more money, but then on the personal on a lower scale. Just like, let me say for instance, you need a business a loan. A business loan you can get up to 10 million under the business section. So minimum is from of course 1,000 rand going up. So on the personal you can get up to 300,000. So the highest bank, which is the green one, is up to 300,000.
If you know the green one, let me know.
All right, do you have any more questions? I think that's it,
That's
Mr. Morema. It was awesome. I just have one more question. Sorry. So we spoke a lot about mindset change. When you start working with someone, let's say this person's really like damaged mentally when it comes to finance and all of that. What's the time frame? What's the best time period to start working with you for that mindset change to happen and that financial management to be in order?
So I would say for a person that told themselves that, you know what, I don't need financial planning, I don't.
Besides that, they had no prior training or
Yeah, they
just
just
know
bang.
nothing about this.
So they
But the
just,
business is making money.
I would say about to work around that, it can be around period of 3 to 6 months. Yeah. So if you can get them to like recover some of the stuff, because
Yeah, because I'm asking I can't picture it as an abrupt change
Yeah.
because it will strain the person who's
Yeah.
not used to these things.
Because you need to help them adjust to the situation so that they see that, oh, okay, here we're moving from this point, we are now going to this, should I say it racism for them, because they'll see it as a slight move that is not making sense. But then as a person that is advising, you need to advise them in a sense that they will understand, they will recover accordingly until they get to see that, okay, this is actually something good for me and for my business.
All right. So what I'm hearing from what he just said is that your mindset has to change. Either you want to be a person that is handling a side hustle and that's good for you, you're living hand to mouth, or you switch your mind to kind of think about a legacy and generational wealth for your family, and that takes sacrifices. That takes you going back and saying, my means that I am used to living in, I might have to kind of sacrifice those things. And sometimes, yeah, you need people who are informed about what money management looks like. But I would like to say, guys, it is better to be, you cannot be self employed and then still be a person that limits the growth potential of your business, because self employment is liberation on its own. That's my belief. That's why I'm an entrepreneur, that I am self employed to be liberated. And liberation doesn't come in a tax bracket of 20K a month. You need to be a billionaire, in my understanding. So change your mindset to become that. And that means sacrifice. It might take a long time, but for me, I pray. Other people will do whatever they want to do, but for me, I pray and I ask God to govern my mindset so that I'm not limited by what I see, but I can see the extensive growth, the legacy that is in me and in our businesses. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I just sort of want to close with this. I really wish that companies like yourself can partner and take this information down to primary school level.
Yeah.
We're speaking to Finta. Shout out to those guys. They're doing something that's awesome. They've created, and I'm giving them free marketing because they are awesome. Right? They've created a board game for kids to play and learn financial management from a primary toddler level, which is awesome. I wish I grew up like that. But really, I wish you guys would partner up. And maybe also you get in touch with Fenta and you guys talk about these things. We'll have them here. I'm not sure when we're having them, sometime this month, but we'll have them here on the show as well. Those guys are really, really awesome. Please do not miss that show. It's going to be amazing, as was this show here.
You wanted to say something?
Okay, just to say something quickly. So as a business person, do not be afraid to fail. Failure is the first attempt in learning. So you need to, like, of course, even the baby, before they go walk, they start somewhere. So as an upcoming entrepreneur, just don't be afraid, or rather don't take yourself for granted. Keep on pushing. You will, of course, get to the other level. So, and just to give another advice, so with a mountain, if you look at the mountain and then from far and then you do your hands like this, that mountain will feed inside. But the moment you get closer to that, when you go like this, it doesn't fit. So what I'm trying to say is that the problems that you might be thinking that they are easy things to deal with, get closer to them. You will see how big they are, and you need to find ways on how to actually tackle them and get over the other side. So yeah.
So
Thank you guys for joining us on Business Talk South Africa. Catch this episode on YouTube and also on our other social media platforms. Everything will be in the description. And even if you want to meet and consult with Mr. Moclaren, it'll be in the description box. But do join our live shows because we like to interact with you. We like the questions because you guys think outside of what we think. Maybe, join us every Thursday at Makers Valley Studios from 2 to 4. Yeah, we have beverages for you.
cheers, everybody. Thank you so much.